before we get involved into the finer details, just your thoughts on that performance. It felt like, from my perspective, your most complete game of the season.
Yeah, it was definitely a three-phase win. Again, we kind of worked through some kinks at the start of the season, but we had the right guys in the right spot, and we kind of put it all together. Obviously, a little bit of a slow start. Had fun on the first drive, and then we had the three-play scoring drive on that first possession, and then after that, we kind of got things rolling, and we were able to create the momentum.
Absolutely. Yeah, the longest play from scrimmage for their entire season came on that first drive. That kind of helped them into their eventual only score of the game. But I have the notes here. Their next 10 possessions were 6 punts, 2 interceptions by y'all, and a turnover on downs was how those drives ended. Obviously, it's always fun to talk about a very complete defensive performance, especially when you have 2 takeaways, and perhaps the interception of the year, but the blueprint interception of the year at the goal line, too. Was that type of conversation this week?
I mean, obviously, we made a huge emphasis after the first few games of the quarterback on the ground and creating some turnovers. I think the first one was obviously just an effort interception. I think it was about 45 of our guys throughout it fell. But again, an effort, continuing to lean into it and focus on the things that we want to get done, to taking the ball away and affecting the quarterback. Good things happen, and the second one was just definitely was being in the right place, being good with his eyes and making a play.
Yeah, and then on the offensive side of the things, first start at Vincent Stadium for E.J. Colton. He had 122 yards in the air with a touchdown to Jalen Waltall, 103 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. We talked about it last week, just a dual threat all-purpose quarterback, and he certainly put on the show in his first game at home.
Yeah, EJ has been the support that we needed. He gets more and more comfortable. Obviously, he can beat you with his arm, he can beat you with his legs. He's a kind of really, really good football ahead of him. He's got a really bright future for us.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I thought was impressive was he pressed the left 7 different players caught a pass. So it's not like one of those things. I think that's the way you have to coach offense anyway. You don't want to rely on one star player anywhere on the field. You want to be able to have threats all over the field.
Yeah, there is. We got a ton of weapons offensively at the skill positions. Anytime you can distribute the ball and get it in different times of your game, it gives a certain dynamic to your offense that's hard to defend. And EJ does a great job of just doing good decisions. And when you do that, you got the ball in space, and that's really good.
Yeah, and then just last bit, wrap up your offense is probably the best game from your stable of running backs. I almost want to include E.J. Colton in that running backs room because we joked on the broadcast. It's always nice to have a direct snap to your running back when he's also the quarterback.
Yeah, 100%. You can gain it.
Things were all stripped, broken plays, second and 10 with the third and 5 versus the third and 12.
So we really put our team in position with our offensive line to take great. You want to take the right backs in the right spot and kind of find that cohesiveness and really came out with the energy and physicality that we need in the backs and ongoing.
That's also the last game of non-conference. And when you schedule these non-conference games, you probably feel how these teams are going to actually shape out your non-conference schedule. So just sort of your reflection on how the non-conference went and how that prepared you for this greater conference schedule.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with where we're at. I think we got better week to week. Again, we found out a ton about our football team, and you got to go through some adversity, and you got to play quality opponents to do that. You don't want to just sleepwalk your way through non-conference and then you get into conference play, especially a league like South where everybody's a good football program, the coaches and good players. So it was different for us. When I took this job after year 1, it was really important for us to make sure that we tested ourselves in the non-conference so that we could continuously get better and find ourselves through non-conference to when we get into conference play.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that was certainly a lot of battle scars developed, but I think it's really put you guys in good position to take on one of the best teams. So we'll set aside here. These guys, when we come back, we'll preview one of the best teams in the South, with the Steve F. Austin Lumberjacks coming in San Antonio. All right, welcome back to Pizza Classics. I'm Carl Schoening, joined by head coach of the Cardinals, Clint Killow. I'd like to thank UIW Cheer for being out here. Thank y'all for making your way out here. Yeah, they always bring spirit along with the marching Cardinals. It's a fun time at Benson Stadium. One of the members that I grew up watching in Southland football were the Lumberjacks. They leave for the WAC, similar to UIW. They come back. This is their first season, I believe, second season, I should say, back in the Southland Conference. So kind of fun to see one of the old faces come back as well. And they certainly bring star power in Sam Vidlak, who is considered one of the best quarterbacks in the nation at the FCS level. When you see, Coach, a player of that caliber, someone who was a Walter Payton finalist last year and is on the preseason watch list, and someone preseason second-team All-America, I'm sure that probably makes you circle a few more things to focus on in film study.
Yeah, no doubt. The quarterback makes him go. He can make all the throws. He's a smart player that's been around the block, so he gets the ball to the right place. He gets the ball out of his hands when he needs to, and he runs a show, and he's someone that you definitely have to be aware of. You have to make sure that you're on your P's and Q's defensively, and you check all the boxes. He also has some weapons on the outside that are extremely impressive. They got a back that can really go. Wembley at number 10 at running back is a stud. I think he's been a stud for a while for those guys. They're pretty good up front, and then defensively, they're really good. Coach Carthel's done a great job there.
Yeah, when you look at the defensive side of things, statistically, they rank among the best. I'm going to just read them off right here. They're 12th in the FCS in points allowed, 9th best rushing defense at under 90 yards allowed per game. They give up the 7th fewest yards per game at 267 to their opponents. 3rd in the FCS in tackles for loss with 41 tackles for loss for 176 yards, push their opponents back. And 3rd most turnovers created with 11. So when I spat off all those numbers to you, I'm sure that creates a little bit of, game planning on how to deal with that 4-2-5 defense.
Yeah, haven't got much sleep over the past couple days, that's for sure. But we got a good staff, and I feel good about our game plan right now. Obviously, we've had 2 work days over the past couple days in terms of practice. We've had 2 good practices. The guys are bought in and locked in and focused, and we'll finish the week off with some mental things. Make sure our eyes are in the right spot. We're carrying the right technique, and we're communicating at a high level. But again, we're going to have our hands full on Saturday, and it's going to be a heck of a battle.
When you go through those meetings leading up to Saturday, what kind of conversations do your defense and your offensive side of the balls exchange? Because obviously you want to prepare for the pass-heavy offense that they could be throwing out there, but then your offense wants to prepare for that defense. So is there some communication in those film studies that you guys have, or how does that work out when maybe you want to just talk about the things you see on film with the other side of the ball within your own house?
Yeah, I mean, I get together with the coordinators at the beginning of the week, and we kind of talk holistically in terms of what we think of the 3 phases that they bring to us and the challenges that we are presented with and how we can attack them and those sorts of things. And then, after that kind of that holistic conversation, we break and we go to the offense, defense, and special team sides of the football and really dive into those game plans, and then we kind of stay in communication throughout the week. And again, we do our best to pour into these guys and make the players see our vision, because we can draw things up on the board and we can come up with all the scheme that we want, but if we can't translate it to our players and make them create it in reality, then it's all for naught, So.
They actually had a similar opponent in Abilene Christian. So did the scouting almost start 2 weeks ago when you were looking at the ACU game, and then you might as well have knocked out some SFA scouting on top of that?
Yeah, I mean, you always kind of have eyes on the conference, to be totally honest with you. But it makes it more convenient when it's crossover, when you're watching both teams, at the same time. So I got an early look at Stephen F. Austin's offense when I was watching ACU's defense, and vice versa with Jim. So he kind of shared some of his thoughts, and we went back and forth on some of those things. A little bit of insight gain for sure.
Yeah, now you get in the conference, and it doesn't happen with McNeese. You're not going to play McNeese. That was who they just defeated pretty handily last week. So now that we're in conference and all of these games sort of stack up to be more important, when you look at what the non-conference prepared you with the tough slate, is it easy to sometimes look past maybe teams, and not SFA specifically, but like maybe teams that aren't higher up in your conference standings because you had such a tough non-conference? Well, where's the mentality of just taking every game, and how do you get your players to get ready for a non-ranked opponent after facing back-to-back ranked opponents? And I know you don't care about rankings, but I like to throw that out there just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, we don't pay too much attention to the rankings, to be completely honest with you, Carl. You know, we went through a tough non-conference. We went through some trials and tribulations, which obviously set the focus for us. So, you know, focus day to day is not an issue with our guys. You know, if it was in the beginning, then it's definitely not anymore, because they understand how important not only every game is, but every day. You know, every meeting, every clip of the film, it's all important. So we are where we feet are. You know, we control the narrative of the present, and we let everybody, you know, control the narrative of the past. So we're going to control the controllables and take it day by day.
Okay, so on that note, though, you guys are ranked 20th in the FCS coaches poll, and I think there was a stretch there when I was covering UIW where it almost felt like there was looking for an excuse to not have UIW in the coaches poll or what have you. But now you guys have earned so much respect on the national stage that even with maybe a tough non-conference schedule, they're still giving you the respect of putting you in the top 25. Just, you know, I know you're not a big rankings guy, but if you can reflect on how much that just the program's been on the rise and how no one can really write you off as easily as maybe they did in the past.
Yeah, we've had a ton of success in the past. We've had some really good coaches, you know, sit in my seat prior to me, and we've been able to continue that success. But again, we just don't put too much stock in the rankings. You know, we know we're a good football team, but if we don't focus on the things that we can control, then it's all for naught. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where you stumble a little bit, and obviously we've experienced that a little bit early in this season. So I really like where our focus is right now. I like our attention to detail, and we're going to take it day by day.
That's the political answer I was looking for. All right, Clint Killough, we're going to get to know him a little bit better. Our typical third segment of getting to know Coach a little bit better, but that was our preview of SFA. So we'll step aside, and when we come back, segment 3 here from Pizza Classics.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
I used to think moving was a nightmare. Careless crews, broken items, unaccountable companies. But then I found Two College Brothers Moving. What a difference. It was the smartest move I ever made. Professional, trustworthy, local, and top-rated. All backed by their raving fan guarantee. Now I'm a raving fan for life. If you need to move, they're the ones to call. When you gotta get moving.
Call 855-MOVE-BRO today for your free quote. That's 855-MOVEBRO.
Life is meant to be lived in motion, in the moment, on the go. If a sports injury or chronic pain threatens to slow you down, hold you back, or take you out of the game, Chris's Health is here, right where you live, with complete personalized orthopedic care. Because you have a lot of games to play, miles to ride, and life to live. Chris's Health. Your health. Your life. Our purpose.
All right, welcome on back to the UIW Coaches Show with Clint Killough. I'm Carl Schoening. We're at Pizza Classics. I believe it's just off St. Mary's Street. Is that? Yeah, you can Google it. I don't know addresses anymore, Coach. GPS, you know, it's funny that people used to get lost. Yeah, I luckily did not have to deal with that in my life. But, you know, one of the questions I think I know the answer to, but I want to just go ahead and get it on the air to see what it is for sure. If football didn't exist, what would be your favorite sport?
I had hoop dreams once upon a time before I grew up and figured out I was a little height challenged. But probably basketball. The coaches still get out there and play a little bit of noon ball. So we get a kick out of that. Coach Morris started that way back in the day. So probably basketball.
Yeah, I know you're a Jordan guy, right?
Yeah.
And you grew up here in San Antonio. We've had a good bit of San Antonio basketball success. So, okay. I think I kind of knew that. Today was the first day of Halloween. It goes on for the next 35 days or whatever. Some people will linger on into the beginning of November for it. But you've always been busy this time of the year, pretty much your entire life, I imagine. Yeah. So what is this sort of spooky season like for you? Do you ever take? I know maybe your family or some of your players do they take you out of your focus as a football coach to bring you into some fun stuff? Maybe a haunted house if they can drag you away.
No, I haven't been to a haunted house in a really, really long time. Coach Conley will have a Halloween costume lift where the red card guys will get dressed up, which is a sight to see early in the morning. Other than that, I'll follow KK around the neighborhood and we'll do a little trick or treating. Then I didn't even realize it was October, to be totally honest with you. I'm kind of in the foxhole right now, but other than that, I kind of stay away from the spooky stuff.
Yeah, no, October 1st today. So, you'll start seeing a lot more of it. You'll start getting free candy handed out, all those kinds of things. Yeah, well, Coach, I guess that sort of takes me into my next question. When the season's done, what do you do?
Recruit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't really have an off season, do you?
No, we do not.
I didn't know if you gave yourself a week.
I think I did last year. I don't really remember. It went by in a blur. I'll try to take a vacation this time around. The one portal window will definitely help that. But right when the season's done, I mean, it's on to recruiting, just because of how important that mid-year recruiting class is. Because if you don't do a good job then you're bringing guys in the summer, and again, you got to gel guys, especially when you have a tough non-conference. That makes it difficult. So you kind of get on the front end of the recruiting stuff.
Okay, I didn't know maybe I was looking for a maybe more specific answer. Let's go after the recruiting. Once the weeds are done and you've maybe, is there a slot at all in your I guess 365-day calendar of being the head coach of UIW that you get to carve some time out for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of spontaneous for me, to be totally honest with you. It's kind of like, how am I feeling? How's the season go? And so on and so forth. But once the recruiting ends, you know what, I need to step away for about a week and just kind of disappear, be a homebody for a little bit, enjoy the couch, enjoy having really nothing to do. That's always enjoyable for me. But I think this year I'm gonna try to plan a vacation or go somewhere with the family or do something.
Yeah, you deserve it. Well,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking your weekly 30-minute break to chat with us here. So it's back to your 90-hour work week, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you for coming on out, Coach. We always appreciate your time. All right, that was Clint Killow. I've been Carl Schoening saying so long from Pizza Classics. Thank y'all for tuning in for the UIW Coaches Show. We'll see you 6 o'clock kickoff against Stephen F. Austin this Saturday at Benson Stadium.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
I used to think moving was a nightmare. Careless crews, broken items, unaccountable companies. But then I found two college brothers moving. What a difference. It was the smartest move I ever made. Professional, trustworthy, local, and top-rated. All backed by their raving fan guarantee. Now I'm a raving fan for life. If you need to move, they're the ones to call. When you gotta get moving.
Call 855-MOVE-BRO today for your free quote. That's 855-MOVEBRO.
Life is meant to be lived in motion, in the moment, on the go. If a sports injury or chronic pain threatens to slow you down, hold you back, or take you out of the game, Christus Health is here, right where you live, with complete personalized orthopedic care. Because you have a lot of games to play, miles to ride, and life to live. Christus Health. Your health. Your life. Our purpose.